Where you going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep them flowing. Where do you come from? Where are you going? What are you feeling tonight? And what are you showing? Where do you come from? 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 Where are you going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep them flowing.
Where you going? Where you come from? Yo, what's going on? It is the Super PlayStation Bros, and we're coming at you with more PlayStation updates and what's going on this week in PlayStation, June 19th, 2023. I'm joined by my super co-host, Doragon. How are you doing this afternoon for you? Good morning for me.
It's a lovely afternoon as well. I'm doing very well. The Ashes are on, so it's England versus Australia in the cricket. I've got that on during my work day whilst putting like swing sofas up over the course of the weekend. It's been great.
Oh, sounds fantastic. Yeah, I hope you had a great weekend. I myself was out to some Italian festivals. My wife and I got up to some bingo, but a little bit of the green flavored bingo because we are here in Canada, so it was a cannabis.
You can do
bingo
such a
event.
thing. Yep.
Yeah, there was a lot of fun there. Yeah, we came home at 2 after some late night sushi, but it's all about having those good times. But all in all, there was some gaming involved as well, and we are talking about you, and you're just gaming on some demos recently. Let me know what you've been up to and gaming in the past on your PlayStation.
Yeah, it's been a very quiet week overall, I'd say. There was obviously the big demo that dropped, which I'll come to last, but there were 3 other demos that dropped throughout the course of that Summer Games Fest. So there was Lies of P, which I played. It was interesting for me. Didn't really hit too many notes that made me think, oh yeah, I should go out and buy this. There was another one, which is, I can't remember the names of 2 of them, unfortunately. One is a detective type, one is a bit of an update of an old game, and that was just fun. It's silly, ridiculous, trying to solve a murder and all that sort of thing. Yeah, if that comes on Plus or if it's dirt cheap at some point, that's a pickup. And there was a really interesting puzzler as well that's coming out, and I think it's going to be day 1 plus from what the developer has been saying. So I'm looking forward to that one. You take photos, you take pictures, you pick them up, and you create your own sort of path to the end goal by placing these photos where you want them.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I really enjoyed that. Remind me a lot of Maquette, which was on PS Plus a couple of years back, where you messed with size and relatives things by using like model worlds to change the size of something in the world that you were in, and so on and so forth. It was very, very interesting. So yeah, looking forward to getting hold of that one. And then, of course, the big demo, Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, that was a epic ride as well.
It was. Now, I'm not a Final Fantasy fan. I'm really not. I've always admired the series from afar. It's just not been one of those that's enamored me gameplay-wise. And the moment I finished with this demo, I pre-ordered the game. That is a powerful marketing campaign. Giving a demo of that high quality that takes people like me who aren't fans of the series, gives us a taste of this new game and immediately gets us to buy it. I think stroke of genius from Square and the development team there.
I absolutely agree. I also played the demo, but let's give a shout out, Jeff Janaki. Yes, we are here. Episode 3 in 6 weeks. Thank you. For the counting. Yes, 3 is the way to go. And SPG, thanks for coming by. And the Cowboy, King of Entertainment. Thank you for stopping in. Yeah, so I have been I gamed on some Final Fantasy as well. I enjoyed. Did you just do the main one? Because I noticed there's an option at the bottom which puts you like in the middle of the game. Well, not in the middle, but you're more along. You have your dog and you're in a full set of armor. Did you play that mode?
I did. I had a
Uh
great time. I liked messing around with the skill trees. It gave you about 5,000 skill points to rank up, to level up, and really sort of make this character a little bit more akin to your play style. The fact that you've got the powers of 3 icons, not just the one, as we saw through the actual gameplay itself. I really enjoyed that sector, and I think that was the final thing. Like the end of the demo absolutely sold it to me from a story narrative perspective. I wanted to know what came next. But then playing that one, I can't remember what it was called. Maybe it was the Icon Challenge or something like that. But playing that sort of later session, the bit that's further on in the game, that just, it completely sold me on it. That gameplay, the fact you can switch between these different powers, you're constantly juggling people. It felt like an evolution of Devil May Cry, which I did find out after the fact is because the combat design in Final Fantasy 16 is made by Ryoki Suzuki. I think that's how I say his name, the actual combat designer of Devil May Cry. So yeah, it spoke to the hack and slash fan in me, and I'm very much looking forward to the game on Thursday because yeah, I did kind of pre-order it because the demo made me.
it's more than just hack and slash though, right? Because you have the stagger bar, you're constantly rotating, you have a variety of attacks. Things are going to do more. You have your companions as well. So I like how they're building that combat. It was a lot of fun. But before I don't want to jump all into Final Fantasy here. But yeah, just kind of talking about what we've been playing this week. So other than that, I myself have been getting into some Diablo, playing through that in the campaign, jumping into friends' worlds, then jumping into mine. I managed to get through the campaign now, so here's where the real game begins,
Indeed,
apparently.
indeed.
So we'll see how that works out. But I just enjoy that sort of community aspect where there's so many people who are in it right now, and you can just jump into people's worlds regardless of what console you're on. And I will say the back paddles on the DualSense Edge make Diablo so much easier. Just holding them, like it's better than a button. It's
Yeah,
better than
yeah,
holding
yeah.
the button.
I've been looking at
Other than
options
that,
for back paddles recently. I was looking at like
yeah.
making custom controllers, so they come with back paddles on, and you can have your name on them or logo on them and that sort of thing. And it's cheaper than the
What?
DualSense Edge. So I've been looking at a couple of these. I don't have the money for it right now. I've just been on a week, 8-day all-inclusive holiday. I'm broke, as I'm stone cold broke.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I've been looking at them because, especially first-person shooters, I don't want to take my thumbs off the sticks. And being able to have like 4 back paddles just for the face buttons that you'd normally use for like reloading, jumping, and all that sort of stuff, they make a massive difference. So I completely get what you're saying with that one, 100%.
Heyo, Wilson, thanks for coming on in. And Cowboy says, so after playing the main demo, I have a 9 out of 10. And after playing the extra demo, I gave it a 10 out of 10. Isn't that right? When I saw that Black Knight come into the scene, I was like, oh, ho, ho, it's on. This is an awesome fight scene. He's got a variety of attacks. Now, I'm hoping I can up the difficulty because
Same, yes.
I was kind of, it was easy for me, but who knows what the final product will look like. I'm sure the world gets much harder as you progress as any game. But
It's a Final Fantasy. There's going to be level scaling. There's going to be level
yeah,
walls that you hit. You're going to have to go off, do some side quests to level up to take on the next bit in certain areas. It's how it's always been. You might have to do that RPG grind and just like grind out one area. So yeah, there's going to be differences in the main game. My whole thought process is, I get what Cowboy's saying about the demo. It was a 9 out of 10 demo, then a 10 out of 10 demo with the extra bits. Mine is, if this game delivers on the promise that this demo has set, we have got one titanic battle for Game of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that they do a lot of things right. They have a very intense story, like so much voice acting, which a certain game does not have any voice acting. Um, the combat is so rewarding, so cool. What you're fighting as a giant phoenix against a flying Tyrannosaurus Rex? Like, how more epic can you get? Those battle scenes were just, I don't know if it's a flying Tyrannosaurus Rex. I just call it that.
The
But
horns on it would say more demonic than
yeah,
Tyrannosaurus-y, but yeah, it was a big demon dinosaur type thing.
my heart too. When he's like stabbing him, I'm like, no, oh my god, not my
The
jeez.
worst part is knowing who's inside both of those icons. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was heart-wrenching. Like the stories that give me emotional connections like that immediately, sign me up.
Vet, what's going on? Vet's coming in with his cozy gaming as well as his. This is his
Jeff,
Ubisoft Ambassador gaming channel. I did not play the demo, but I give it a 2 out of 10. That's a stellar review from Jeff. I guess
we
he's going
can't
off
take
of
Jeff
appearance
anywhere.
alone.
Just have to leave him at
Well,
home in future.
moving to the tech that that PlayStation VR 2 is bringing to the table. We're talking about 4 new PSVR 2 games announced. Okay, this is Tiger Blade. Sorry, I read that as Tiger Wood. Every time I see Tiger, I'm like, Tiger Woods, what? No, The Wanderer, the Fragments of Fate, Pixel Ripped 1995, and the Seventh Guest VR. So this is adding to your roster. Am I correct here in saying that, Doragon? That you are an owner of the PSVR 2.
I am indeed an owner of the PSVR 2. I have seen all 4 of these games and I'm interested. This one especially, the what's it called? Tiger Blade. It's based on
Yeah.
Korean culture, which is hugely interesting to both me and my fiance. So we're very much looking forward to that one. VR has been out every single day since getting back from holiday. Beat Saber has been
Really?
on complete rotation. Like we've both just been slicing up blocks with lightsabers, sort of thing. But this is
Jamming
sort of
out.
like the next level of that, is taking that sort of set of mechanics, putting it into a game. Because as you can see, you've got a katana, you've got like a telekinetic whip type thing, Indiana Jones style, and
Yeah, it seemed
it's
like
throwing
a
a story
grapple.
behind it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Of course, as with all games, I'm looking at production value of VR games. Very much depends upon price. If this is in that, for me over here in the UK, that £20 to £30 mark, that's a dead cert pickup. I feel that one, but I'm very much liking the look of it. And if it plays half as well as Beat Saber does, it will be an enjoyable experience.
I like that it's influenced by Korean hip hop. So it makes
Yes,
me feel like it's going to have this nice beat to it as well, which is going to make it even more enjoyable.
yeah, I have no idea what's going on there, but my partner, she's been doing the Duolingo Korean for a couple of years now, so she'll have a little more idea than you or I.
Oh, wow. A lot of languages in your house.
We try, we try. To be fair, my Italian all came from Ezio Auditore, so you know, Assassin's Creed has a lot to answer for.
Oh, wow.
But
Jeez.
it's tourist Italian. I could get around Italy and let everybody know what I wanted, where I was going, and all that sort of stuff just from Ezio Auditore.
That is impressive. Oh my god. I did not pay that much attention. See, I'm a victim of and what we're
You're
looking at
from
here is
from
a little clip from The Wanderer, the Fragments of Fate. So this is another VR game being announced.
Yeah,
But
this
I'm
one's
a
a
victim
port, I
of
believe. I believe this is a
Oh,
port
it's a
from the Meta
port.
Quest. So it's
This is on the Meta
and
Quest.
it's from the Meta Quest and the PSVR 1. So it's meant to be very good
Okay.
reviews, etc., etc. It doesn't seem to be in my wheelhouse of types of game that I enjoy, but again, like as that in Horizon, that whole grabbing and going in the Horizon Call of the
Yeah.
Mountain, it's so sickness inducing. I've fallen over 3 times playing that game, and one of them I was
Oh my
sat on the
gosh.
floor. So yeah, that
Yeah, this
one I
looks like a
might not be
lot of
touching for a while.
traversing. Yeah, the traversing is hard because physically you're not moving anywhere, right? but
Yeah,
you're
so
you're visually, you're going through, you're swinging, you're like, it's hard for your stomach and your
it's the
like your
same issue a
eyes and
lot of
your
people have in cars, yeah, because your eyes are seeing one thing, your body's feeling another. And like in Horizon, like, it helps that Horizon is such high fidelity. The fact that it's the 4K 120 helps massively, but not every game's going to be doing that. So I feel like being choppier, it might help a little bit, it might be easier on an Equilibrium, or it might be worse. This might be one of those, if it comes on Plus, or if I could pick it up at a bargain bin, I'll give it a try. But it's not a day one, that one, just because of the traversal and I get travel
yeah.
sick.
We have Pixel Rips 1995. So this is sounding like a sort of retro playback. Yeah, look at this. So this is
Yeah.
is this a VR game where you look at the TV?
It's a VR game where you save the game. It's the third in the series. They've done Pixel Rip
Oh,
1970 and 1980 something. So this
wow.
is the
Okay,
third
you're
one
in
that
the
they've got.
game.
And so you go into the game and your whole thing is to save the gaming sphere, save it from your mom, save it from invaders, save it from anything. You've got flying like in Star Fox, you've got shooting like in Time Splitters and such. It's one of those sort of more arcadey, varied VR experiences, which is one of those sort of killer apps that gets people into VR because they can try lots of little different things with it. But again, like Tiger Knife, Tiger Blade, it's going to depend very much on the pricing of it. For me personally, it would have to be around that £20 mark, that $30 mark, to be worth the investment.
Yeah. I mean, you're onboarding new software that, doesn't necessarily have the same play length as your average game that you're picking up, say Final Fantasy, which is coming out at full price. So these games, it's hard to give that full price, even though there is a lot of work going into these new experiences, right? This is a whole 360 world you're immersed in.
Indeed, indeed. But at the same time, when you take it as an individual experience, you are not going to get that same £60 experience in one of these games as you're getting in Final Fantasy. You're getting an experience, like, you look at these are more what we would class indie titles if they were on a two-dimensional screen. And so
Yeah.
you've got to price them accordingly. Like, this experience is expected by people. People want these sort of levels of experience. A lot of people have the best experiences of the year in these levels of experience. Xbox's Hi-Fi Rush is still up there for me in experiences this year, and that was more of this sort of level and release. But yeah, it very much depends on the price of these. I'm interested in all of them for different reasons. The traversal in The Wanderer, that one probably never going to pick up just because it would make me feel sick. But the other three, if they go to a right price or are included with Plus at any point, yeah, they're games I would like to have a go of, definitely. And this is what I like about PSVR 2. It's only been out 4 months at this point, and we keep getting good experiences. We've got Synapse on the horizon, which is a really twisted world of similar to Tiger Blade, where you've got a gun in one hand and telekinetic powers in the other and what have you. And then there's a Western shooter as well. There's plenty of experiences coming. They're not doing the PS Vita thing with it, where they're like, oh, here's a new console, new games, and then nothing.
And the Call of the Mountain, you have big names as well in there. So, and plus they have that the Walking Dead IP as well. Do they not have that on PSVR too?
They've got a Walking Dead one. There's Star Wars and Edge of the Galaxy or something like that. That's a really fun shooter game. I like where I can just like throw the gun up from one hand, catch it in the other, and shoot people. That's just hilariously good fun. The fact that you can feel reloading the gun through the sense controllers, so it's just like a cockback thing, because the laser rifles, they just overheat. So you open the cooling vent and then let it go with the triggers, and you feel all of that. It feels real. Again, some of these are MetaQuest ports onto the PSVR 2. Some of them are upgrades of PSVR 1 titles, like Beat Saber, that was on PSVR 1. The Moss games, they were on PSVR 1, but there are some new titles coming out as well, like Synapse, like 3 of the 4 on that list that we've just looked at. And liking the outlook thus far. I've been cautiously optimistic with PSVR 2, and I think that cautious optimism is slowly starting to pay off.
Yeah, and that's why it's in good hands with PlayStation, because they're experts in giving you feedback with their controllers. So I feel like that's what like VR missed for me when I was in the Oculus Quest 2 trying to figure out these games. There's just not that feedback response that I'm looking for when I hit something or when I smash something with my saber. Like I just don't feel it. So I'm really hoping that PlayStation brings it to that next level. And what's going on, Nerds World Gaming? Thanks for stopping on by. Let's jump into Sonic Superstars, a classic formula on a hands-on gameplay. So this game, I mean, the nostalgia hits hard for me. I'm a huge Sonic fan. Gathering all of those rings, and then you'd get to the checkpoint once you hit 50, and then you'd get a Chaos Emerald in the special zone. When you got 7 of them, you went supersonic. I remember doing that as a kid and just like being so like, this is the coolest thing ever when I pulled off a supersonic. And I really hope that they bring that back into this experience. This is a 4-player playable. I mean, I'm not surprised they did something like this. I think it's going to bring in a lot of people and make Sonic more accessible. But I'm pretty excited about it. The reviews have come in as it being extremely fun and enjoyable.
Yeah, one of my friends, he writes for the Nintendo Life magazine, which, is online
Yes,
now.
I've seen you promote that.
Yeah, he's a lovely bloke. We used to work together in big tech, and he's now gone on to writing for Nintendo Life. He got hands-on with it at Summer Games Fest in LA, and he was saying, like, this is the Sonic he remembers, essentially. He feels like the Sonic games of old, that same feeling that doesn't play exactly the same, because the games from the 80s, games from the 90s, if they played exactly the same as back then, it wouldn't feel good now in 2023. So they do feel updated, but it gives you that same positive feeling that you had with those titles back on the original Mega Drive. And I'm looking forward to that. And he played it on the PS5 when on that show floor. They were on PlayStation, they weren't on Nintendo Switch or Microsoft Xbox. So he's had that experience. He's had that thought process saying, like, this is something that should be on your radar from the PlayStation experience. So yeah, I'm again very interested in this. And it's just coming back to what we spoke about at the start of the show. Gameplay demos matter. Put these things in the hands of people, they can get a little bit of an experience of it themselves. It's gonna make them want more most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. And that gameplay demo really brings it to the audience, the masses. And once you play something, the statistics have got to be there that you're more likely to continue on to purchase.
Yeah, there's got to be some great statistics with that. And I mean, we've all seen it from, again, Final Fantasy 16. What was the what was like the Xbox personal attacks on it before Summer Games Fest? Oh, it's the least pre-ordered Final Fantasy in history. Square and the game are in trouble.
Really?
It's now the most pre-ordered Final Fantasy in history. It's like,
wow, that's a big
has
turnaround.
proof behind it. Putting gameplay in people's hands will change their experience and change their thought processes, as it should.
What's going on, Ray? Thanks for stopping on by. And SPG, hope you're doing well, man. And King of Cowboys. King of Cowboy, King of Entertainment.
He might be the king of cowboys. Did they have a kingdom? There were cowboys in the
CKE.
50 years they existed.
Yeah. I'm not a Sonic fan, but I instantly want to buy it so my wife and I can play together, seeing it's 4 players. Yeah, exactly. Great to throw up on the community stream as well. Have anyone jump in when you're playing on those game days. What's up, Dandroid UK? Thanks for stopping on by. Appreciate it. And then we got Rune Mamba. Damn, y'all live early in the morning. Well, for me, it's a nice and toasty 10 a.m. And for Doragon,
yeah, it's 3 p.m.
Yeah, 3 p.m.
Way in the afternoon
Wait, yeah. So this
I've
is
had 2
a
meals at this point.
midday.
Sorry for swearing at you. Apologies.
So there is use of Chaos Emeralds, so that nostalgic feeling will be back there. There'll be a lot of awesomeness to this one, and you can expect it fall 2023. And if you missed it, I believe there was a website here that you can go get a skin. So make sure to watch the trailer here, and you can go to sonicsuperstars.com for an exclusive skin. That's your game.
After the show,
Because
yes,
skins,
definitely.
yes, after the show. Skins are
After
how
the show,
boys.
guys. After.
What's going on, Ron Slusher? A big PS5 enthusiast as well. I'm always seeing this guy clip his PS5 moments. So a good shout out to Ron Slusher, man. You're always pumping out that awesome PS5 content. We're coming up to a big announcement. People always talk about Game Pass, but oh my gosh. I mean, how many games are they giving us for this week in the game catalog? So every mid-month, I'd say they update the game catalog, and then at the beginning of the month is when they drop, 4 games to download, around 4 games to download directly. So yeah, big names. Do any of these stand out to you specifically? I mean, the ones that stand out are Far Cry, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Deus Ex, Killing Floor, Killzone Liberation. I'm surprised they're bringing that IP back into the classics catalog. I think I may just dust that one off to have some fun
Seriously,
there. And then
if you haven't played Killzone Liberation on the PlayStation Portable, play it on this, because it is probably one of the best Killzone games going. I know a lot of people only played Killzone on the PS3 and 4. They didn't play the handheld ones because there's one on PSP and on Vita, both of which are incredible experiences. But Mercenaries on the PSP, get your hands on that, get playing it. That alone for me is worth this month's premium subscription.
wow, a classics game. Really?
Yes, it's that good.
Oh my gosh. I've got to try this because, I mean, forgive me already, but I've not played Killzone before, so we'll see how that goes. I know. Well, I just got out of my physical therapy today, and man, my recovery is rough, but I'm working it out. Man, best of luck on your road to recovery, cowboy. We're all pulling for you.
Speaking of, with physical recovery, like 4 years in the making, I can put my arms above my head now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just doing those little exercises, I'm sure, every day that they give you. We've been in the physio room before, and it just takes work. Every day.
Time, and commitment, 100%.
And we got Raven Anime. What's going on, dude? Thanks for stopping on by. Pika. And then we got FCAT dropping in. Yo, FCAT. Now I won't spoil it unless you're keeping it. But FCAT sent me a message a couple days ago, so pretty excited for him. And Bliss, what's going on?
Like a little handheld type computer thing, possibly?
Oh, it's not handheld. It's not handheld. Yeah. Rudiggz up at it in another show already. Good morning. Yes. Good morning. Hope you're doing well, Bliss. But yeah, what I found interesting here is game trial for W2K23. It's the PS4 version, but I'm wondering, will that allow me to get into Cowboys We Wrestle Wednesdays? Because I was able to wrestle with them on when W2K22, when they were doing that, and it was on PS Plus. But now that they're making 2K23 available, but it's just a game trial.
It's just a trial, so it's to see if the game is worthwhile your hard-earned cash. It may come further down the line. We've just got NBA 2K23 included in the game catalog this month, or as essentials, one of the two, which is a great game. I'm really enjoying that. Actually have the correct team win the NBA Finals rather than the Nuggets.
The Raptors, right? Toronto Raptors.
do not get me wrong, as a huge dinosaur nerd, the Toronto Raptors are a second favorite team of mine. But there's something about a flaming basketball for the Miami Heat that just spoke to me back in 1996, and I've been a fan since.
No.
I've been, dude, nearly 20 years, nearly 30 years. Oh my God, I'm old. You can't deny a man 30 years of honest support through the thick and the thin, mostly thin.
Commonwealth. You got to support the Commonwealth with Canadians.
I know.
It's
but
like
I didn't
you
know
have
where
a horse
Toronto
in the
was as an
race.
8-year-old. Like, give an
And you're
8-year-old.
betting outside of your own team here.
They're second. They're my second team. All right, leave me be.
All right. Oh, we'll take that. The childhood nostalgia is hard to break. And I think that's why we see movies like Super Mario just blowing it out of the water, right? That nostalgia that you connect to as a kid just
100%,
really
yeah.
locks you in.
Oh,
Dorgon
thank you,
Ulrich,
cowboy.
16.
That's the kindest thing you've ever said to me.
There is a lot of interesting stuff on the rest of this blog here that they go on.
PlayStation Stars have got some big stuff coming. Yeah. I like my little trophy cabinet on PlayStation Stars, and adding some championship rings. That feels good to me.
That's pretty cool. My thing is, how do I get more trophies? I don't get why I don't have more trophies for everything.
So every month there is something new. So let me just bring up the PlayStation app here. So on the PlayStation app, next to your name at the top, you'll see like a little number. If you click on that number, it takes you into PlayStation Stars. And then as you scroll down, you've got
there.
Campaigns. You have to complete these campaigns to get a trophy. So, for example, if you wanted Shuhei Yoshida as your trophy, you would have to complete all of these things down below it. So play A Space for the Unbound, Before Your Eyes, Call to the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, and The Night Witch. There's some where you only have to play one game. Some, like, there's one this month called, where's it gone? Press Play 1997. That'll get you a Sony radio as a trophy. But you've got to figure out what all of the games are that you've got to play based on song titles from the 90s. So the first one is Honey, for example, which of course is going to be Bee Simulator. You play Bee Simulator to tick that one off the box. Then you've got Around the World, The Freshman, Fly X Song 2. So you have to figure out what some of the games are sometimes. And it's just a nice little thing. It's nothing special, nothing amazing. They're not NFTs. They have no value, no worth, except for some bragging rights. And most of the time, all you need to do is load a game up. You don't even need to play it. Just get to the main menu and it'll give you the trophy.
Really?
But yeah, it's just a nice little tick box exercise, monkey brain happy, unga bunga sort of thing.
Because I tried to go into my showcase and I'm like, why do I only got like 3 trophies? So I definitely got to go into my app. Yeah, apparently. I'm like, I should have an Elden Ring one. I should have a Sekiro one. I should have like all these ones. But anyways, I only had Last of Us and Horizon. Oh, damn it. I need more trophies. So we have this campaign. And you don't like the Raptors. Come on. We have these rings they're adding in for the classics catalog, the game catalog, and Slusher. I looked throughout the blog. I don't see sort of list of games leaving the PS Plus catalog. So
they tend to not put it in the blog post. It tends to be on the PS Store itself. So it'll tell you that was
leaving soon.
Leaving soon section. It tells you there what's leaving. Do not elbow your desk, folks. It really hurts.
I'm going to try and boot it up in the background and see. And FCAT, I am excited for you, man. I look forward to it. I'm sure I'd be watching the door. Like a hawk. Now, here is the big thing I wanted to talk about, or at least highlight. You can join the PlayStation Plus celebration. Blah, 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 blah. Enter to win a PS5 and a PSVR 2. So go to the webpage here. It's just a PlayStation Plus webpage, and there's contest details on how to enter. The campaign runs from live the 20th.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow for 10 days. So Hey, may as well throw your ring in the hat, right?
Exactly. There's no harm, no foul sort of thing. It's how I ended up getting the PSVR 2. Threw my hat in the ring, my name got picked, and I got a PSVR 2. So, throw it in there, see what happens. Bjorn did it, got a PS5.
Is that
There's no
how you
harm,
got
no
it,
foul. That is how I got it.
or
Got it through a contest.
that's insane, dude. Oh my gosh.
It's towards the top of the page, FCAT, the PlayStation Cloud information, but it's just a testing phase for PS5 games at the moment. There's nothing coming to us consumers just yet. It'll be further down the line. But one thing that they did say about testing the PlayStation 5 games is it will also be for PlayStation 5 games that you have purchased, not just what's included in the game catalog.
Right. Exactly. So things like I'm just saying this, but hopefully Red Dead Redemption. I don't know, something
God
like
of War
that.
Ragnarok.
God of War Ragnarok would be a PlayStation first party title, so for sure they would be testing that one out. But only time will tell. We're waiting to really see. This is an interesting one. I feel like they should do this a lot more often. And in my mind, they should get rid of the online multiplayer cost entirely. But it's free for this upcoming weekend.
Indeed. It's a good thing. Allows people to get some game time with their friends, tells people how good the PlayStation Online is. It used to be free back in the PlayStation 3 days. We never had to pay to play online with the PlayStation Network. It came in during PlayStation 4, and what we got was a vastly improved experience. And for me, especially considering the size of Sony compared to the size of who was the direct competitor at the time, maybe isn't the direct competitor now, but probably the closest competitor, Xbox. Like the difference between the online services between them was night and day. Xbox was so much better, but that gap closed and is basically non-existent since the PS4 era, since we started paying them for it. And they don't have a couple of $1 trillion to throw at services like this and forget about. They're a much, much smaller company. They've got to pay for these servers, for the services.
Yeah.
I am fine paying for it because my £100 a year gets me that online play, my cloud storage, all of the backups of my save data, of my profile information, of my partner's information, 800 games plus in a library, plus PS5 stuff coming soon, a raft of additional games per month. It's like I'm getting value for money out of that, and I would much rather that smoother online experience. Maybe for the free-to-play games, it shouldn't be there. I don't see the point of having a free-to-play.
I think that's what bugs me.
Yeah. I don't think there should be a free-to-play game that you play online with people that you can play on, say, a phone, say like Fortnite, for example. I could play with you on PS5 on my phone, all cross-play, a couple of guys coming from PC as well. We can all play together. The only person who has to play that game, pay to play that game online, is you on the PlayStation 5. Any free-to-play games, I feel like there shouldn't be that paywall in front of playing them online.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail right on the head there with they've got to support the servers, they've got to make it run well, but at the same time, let's not block free to play. It's not really free to play if you have to pay for a subscription. So I agree there. Now, we have some speedrun challenges for any of you speedrunners out there. Sackboy, A Big Adventure, is on PS5, and yeah, they're doing a little competition. So I know PlayStation is very. What's that?
These speedrun contests, they've done them a few times.
Yeah.
When the PlayStation 5 first launched, they did it with Astrobot, Astro's Playroom, which was amazingly good fun. I thought I was quite good at it. But seeing the speedrun times some people are getting, I'm like, how are you doing this?
Yeah,
and that's from my friends list, let alone the rest of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I see this though. PlayStation is always hosting fighting tournaments. They're always hosting different games. They're doing live streams. I don't know. They're very active with their community. I'll give them that.
They're pretty good, yeah. Don't get me wrong, Xbox are good. Nintendo
Maybe I just don't follow Xbox stuff. What, does Nintendo do stuff like that as well? I've
They
seen
do
Nintendo do things like
stuff. Most of it's legally challenging and questionable to content creators and such. But yeah, they do stuff.
that.
Uh, it's not quite in the same
Okay,
vein.
so this next one is just a tip for remote play. Now, I was testing
I
out
see
remote
you've
play.
been using remote play. Yes. Before we get to that
Yeah,
tip, how have you been
yeah.
finding remote play? Where have you been using it? What has your experience been? Because last time we spoke, you didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was. So my idea was that I wanted to use it to try to use my OBS for streaming to bring in Discord chat because with a lot of my Destiny 2 streams, we had this same issue, right? You can't get the Discord chat or the people talking through the stream. So through that, I wanted to get it on my monitor, on my computer, on the app. So I was having a lot of struggles when it was had the HDMI connected into my monitor, and then I was trying to use the app because it would start on my PlayStation. And my assumption is because it's still feeding that image through the HDMI. So
It
that's
is,
taking
yes.
up a lot of memory or whatever. It's not able to do two things at once. So I found a lot of latency, a lot of latency. But here's what I did. I thought, okay, what if I unplugged my HDMI, redid the remote play, flawless. It was
Yes.
like I was playing directly on the PS5 on my monitor on through my computer. So I was able to stream, get all my Discord chat in. Then I went to play it on my phone with it unplugged. It worked flawlessly. There was no latency whatsoever. So I'm just really impressed with it right now. I want to take it as far as I can now, like down the street, outside, see what happens. But my big tip here, takeaway, is unplug that HDMI. I found that it improved the quality of my remote play tenfold.
Now, there is another one, which may be what you're experiencing and would mean that you could plug your HDMI back in. And it's something that I discovered and has been, especially with the announcement of Project Q, has been a big thing to help people. When you set up remote play on the PlayStation 5 itself, if you go into settings and into remote play, there's a little slider that says connect directly with either the PlayStation app or with PlayStation Vita. Because I don't know why it still lets the Vita try and connect to the PlayStation 5 when it doesn't have PS5 remote play. But if you turn that little slider to the off position, what you will find is you then just use your internet connection. Because what happens when that slider's on is the PlayStation console creates its own Wi-Fi connection. So if you're trying to connect to that through the remote play app from, say, your PC, you are in the bubble of the PlayStation 5's own remote play Wi-Fi connection, which is not as good or as strong as your native Wi-Fi connection. So if you make sure that that little slider is turned to the off point, and you then connect from anywhere in the world, maybe say Tokyo, Japan, like I did in 2019, as long as that little slider is to the off position, you're going to have a flawless experience wherever you are in the world.
Oh wow. I'm definitely gonna have to double check that slider after the show. That makes a lot of sense though, because if you can connect to your internet, boom, right away. And that's what I think. Like the queue, I think is a great idea if you can just direct your PlayStation right to it, a little handheld. So I love the design. So I said it on the show before. I think it's awesome. I love the
Yeah.
PlayStation controller. I like how it feels. The DualSense is next gen in terms of how it
On
feels
the
in your hand, how it reacts.
yeah, and on the front of remote play, I got a message from Backbone the other day. Backbone make a controller that basically goes on either side of your phone and turns it
Yeah.
into a Nintendo Switch or a Project Q. And they have a PlayStation model of it. Now, I own the original Backbone, just Backbone
Ooh,
for Android. I got a message from them over the course of the weekend. How would you like to do a free swap for the PlayStation 1? So,
nice.
I have filled in a form. Backbone are currently looking at it, reviewing it, and the ideal situation will be I receive a PlayStation version of the Backbone 1 on my doorstep. I will hand them the old version, and then I've got a native Project Q long before the Project Q even releases. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I'll let you know how that one goes. But there's many different types of controller as well, and that one, just to have that sort of single device Switch Vita type experience, but with PlayStation 5 games, just bring it on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Absolutely.
What
do we have here in the
stars
chat?
in chat? Yeah.
Let me say, I will let Jeff know that you're going to be competing on Canada's Worst Handyman season 12, but I don't think
And
they'll
I'm
let
not
you in if you're
Canadian.
not Canadian.
Maybe you just have to operate in Canada.
We agree, man. Destiny 2 is the only free game. Is that true? Can you play Fortnite without a PS Plus on?
I haven't not had
Yeah,
PlayStation
exactly. I
Plus
haven't
for
not
10
had it
years.
either.
So I don't know. We'll have to find out. I'll try and find out for you guys. But
Yeah,
things that FCAT are saying, things that I think it's Ron saying as well, take advantage of PS Stars, because you also get money. You also get rewards for it. Every game you buy on the PlayStation Store gives you dollars in rewards. I am this close to being able to redeem a full game, and I'll just get a complete free game just for using PlayStation Stars, having it linked to my PlayStation account. So yeah, looking very much forward to that one.
And that's how they're able to benefit the people, is because they lock it into their PlayStation Store ecosystem, right? I can't go to GOG.com and buy a code for PlayStation, right? Everything's locked in their store. You get the rewards, and they do pay you back. I just purchased many games with $5 discounts. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I should take a look and see what kind of rewards I have going on.
Definitely. Well worth it. Cowboys
yeah, well,
close to getting $20. So yeah, like PlayStation Stars, use it, guys.
I can honestly say PlayStation Stars is more rewarding than PlayStation Rewards. Interesting. Because I hear a lot of people rave about the Microsoft Rewards, how, you got a checklist of things to do, and the benefit is you get money in your Microsoft account. So
the effort I've had to put in to get any form of reward from the Microsoft side of things is exponentially greater. And that's not to say it's not rewarding. It can be very rewarding, especially if it's your primary ecosystem. But it's not my primary ecosystem. So the additional effort to try and get any reward from it is much greater. And even those whose primary ecosystem is Xbox do say there's a lot of hoops to jump through, lots of stupid challenges for in-game work and such. So yeah, it's for some people, I think the PlayStation Stars is a better rewards program. For some people, it makes zero sense and they don't care.
Yeah, because they play one game, right?
Exactly.
It works if you're going through more games. But look at this. Cowboy's a guy who goes through games. He downgraded to PS Plus Essential, and then he saw that there was sales, so he went up to Premium. And I'm sure with the purchase of a game, he already made up the difference in cost. So there is a benefit to having those sales on the premium level there. Let me catch up here. Jeff is a pony. He is now a PS5 owner. Yeah.
Welcome to the pony crew. Yay.
And Cowboy also wanted the backbone, but it's not big enough for my phone. Oh my! Cowboy has that.
Now Cowboy,
he has the big fold.
Cowboy has the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3, which is smaller than my Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. So you are telling fibs, Cowboy, and you cannot tell me that this isn't the case, because that's my job to know.
So the backbone does fit.
The backbone will fit. It's just going to be a balance issue, because when the screen's open, obviously you've got like a tablet rather than a slab phone like this sort of thing. Now I have to take the case off this for it to fit. It won't fit around it with the case on, so I've got to take the case off for it to work. But most people with the Z Fold, because there aren't really any good cases, it's just a case of you plop it on. Now you can play it in folded mode, but then it sticks out too far and it doesn't properly sit, so you would have to open it up into tablet mode to get the big screen version.
Oh wow.
But it will fit. It's just a balanced situation, whereas that monster MGX Pro that Cowboy's got, that's built for like 10, 12-inch tablets. So that's going to fit pretty much anything. It's a chonker. That's my only downside with it. I prefer the streamlined smoothness that is the backbone.
And is it the same for all the folds here? Because Vet's
The
saying he's
Fold
got a
4
Samsung.
is actually a smaller device by 2 millimeters. So yes, it will definitely fit on that one. More
Oh,
screens,
Vet,
real
your
estate,
device is
less size.
smaller than Cowboy's device by 2 millimeters. Just saying.
Not the size that matters, it's how you use it.
So we're talking about the cloud recently. I know FCAT had brought it up, and what we have here is just testing. What we've been hearing, they're testing it out. We're not seeing it on the consumer end as of yet, but the PS5 games are being trialed in the cloud. These are not games specifically locked to PS Plus. We're learning they are games that, for instance, you can purchase, which are PlayStation 5, and be playing these in the cloud. So I assume maybe something like Sonic Frontiers or a first party title like God of War Ragnarok. These would be games that they may be testing. Oh, no. Well, they list them here. Far Cry 6, Shredder's Revenge. Oh, no, never mind. But yeah, we'll know more as more happens. But right now, I don't think there's very much to report on this end.
No, like anything in testing phase, there's very, very little to report. Again, knowing it from my experiences, my internal experiences, and what have you, anything in a testing phase, you don't know internally what the good and the bad is. So putting anything out into the world, it's just a silly idea, other than to say it's being tested. And that can then have an indefinite timeline. So it could be suddenly in 3 weeks you make a breakthrough, it's wonderful, ready to go, put it out into the world. It could be in 3 months it's ready, or 3 years it's ready. Looking at industries, look at something like xCloud. Technically that's still in beta, that's not in a release for like PC users, but it is for Android users. So yeah, it's to say it's testing, it's a good news piece, but it doesn't need to go any further than that from a corporate perspective.
Absolutely. And I'm realizing I opened up the wrong article here. So we'll jump to the next topic here. And that
Stray
is
kitty cat. Oh, is that not the topic?
that
Oh.
no, but I mean there's not too much to say on the topic other than they're in the testing phases, and we'll hear more when we know more. But the next topic I'll say is PlayStation is confident in their strategy, and moving forward, do not expect PlayStation first party titles to be released on PS Plus, because they're doing something different than the other people, and it works well for them. We're seeing that they have a strategy of releasing their first party titles on PS Plus in sort of 12, 18, and 24-month cycles after they've been released.
Indeed.
And that's what we're going to get going forward, and it really gives new life to these games, and they're seeing a lot of interest and hype when these games are coming on to PS Plus as well as first being launched. So in a way, they've sort of found a way to double dip in their own subscription service, and if it works well for them, I think it's just something we're going to have to get used to and enjoy and embrace, because
I personally think it's right, yeah, because like I say, you've got that double dip ethos, like sell it first, then do the giveaway a couple of years down the line. But they've then got that sort of triple dip as well with the whole PC side of things. So look at Rift Apart, came out, launched for the PlayStation 5, then came out on Plus last month, and they announced at the same time that it's coming to PC. So you've got that triple dip, and it keeps the hype going around these games much longer than you see from pretty much anyone else at the moment.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it sort of shortens the lifespan of games. Now that I see this strategy, when you release everything on Game Pass day one, it's sort of it's accessible to everybody right away, and it's very low cost of entry. And then that's it. You're just waiting for that next hit, that next game. With this, like you said, it comes to life once when it first releases, then it comes to PS Plus, then it comes to PC. Like, it's so much better for you as a developer of the game to have your product hit on 3 separate occasions. So I
Yeah,
think we'll see talent shift in this direction, because how could you not, as a business aspect, want to have 3 hits versus 1?
it's good hits as well. That's kind of what we have to remember with this one. So that first
Yeah.
hit that's the hyper fans. Those are the people that you really want to be involved in it. They're the people who give you good word of mouth, good publicity, good streaming content, good edited content. They're the guys and gals who talk about your release, your title, your labor of love. They're the people who really want to be part of it. What that then does is take those people who maybe aren't willing to put the $70, £60 down upon that game, willing to wait it out on, say, Plus. And in 2 years, they get that experience, and suddenly they're hooked as well. And on certain games, you've then got microtransactions, DLC releases that you can purchase atop your Plus subscription to engage with that game even further. And they may go and do that. Or it comes to Plus at a point where the sequel's coming, and suddenly you've got a bigger demographic excited about the next game. That's what's happened with 2018's God of War. It went on PlayStation, then went on Plus about 3 years later, then hit PC, and then we got Ragnarok. And Ragnarok is the best selling PlayStation game in history at this point in time. So it's obviously a tactic that is working for them as a company. It is working for fans on multiple different levels. Why would you change something if it isn't broken?
Yeah, absolutely. So, especially if you're feeling the pressure from, say, the other side, I think what they're saying here is that they're just going to stay tried and true to what works. And hey, Stray was released day and date on PS Plus. Like, they're still releasing day and dates. Meet Your Maker, to Chai. These games are coming day and
Humanity,
date. It's
yeah.
just humanity. It's just they have a different formula, and it's working well for them. And I think in the end, it'll just benefit gaming and developers and people behind the games. So I definitely see why the strategy is the way to go.
I think
I was
Cowboy's raising a very
surprised
good
that
point there
premium
as
has
well.
ended up being a bigger share of the base than extra. So
Yeah, I think
premium is
extra,
coming up.
the difference between premium and extra is so small here in the UK. It's like £10. And
Yeah.
most of us lose that down the back of the sofa per year. So, why not put it to work where it's actually going to give us something back? I would be interested to see what the share split is between essential and premium. I still think essential will be much higher because it's that cheaper entry point. You still get your monthly games, you still get your online gaming, you still get your online cloud saves and such. You just don't get all of the added extras. But when you've got 2 higher paid tiers, it's interesting to see that upper level have the bigger share. But again, when you price them so closely, the bonuses between them, I can kind of understand it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have some chat here. They still need to update the PlayStation Plus premium UI for the app. And yes, I agree. They need a
Oh God,
Microsoft,
20 frames per
a Mac
second.
app.
That's horrific.
Definitely need a Mac option. I'm surprised that it's Windows only. So,
So the Windows
definitely.
only one is for cloud. Cloud with PlayStation has been notoriously just existing.
Right.
So if you have PS Plus Premium, you can play your PlayStation games natively on PC. You can cloud stream them to PC for PS1, 2, 3, 4, and PSP at this precise moment in time. Hopefully PS5 games in the future as well. But right now, they only have that app available on 3 devices. 2 of them are PlayStation consoles. The only one that isn't a PlayStation console is Windows PC. So yeah, they should do one for Mac. You can have workarounds for this. There are ways to create a Windows environment within Mac. And it's sort of a bit of a workaround, same as trying to create a Windows environment within Android, which is possible, bloody hard to do, much easier to do on Mac, especially with, say, the power of the M1 and M2 chips. So you can get PS Plus Premium on a Mac. it's just not native. It's not easy. You've got to be a bit of a techie to start looking into that. But I think it's something Vet could probably do quite happily. But yeah, they do need more native options, and they need something on mobile as well, because it's just, especially with Project Q, like if that thing does not have cloud gaming as an option in very short time, it's probably destined for disaster, that particular device.
Yeah. We have Cowboy. The thing that makes the MGX Pro pretty amazing is that it's actually like a controller cut in to help. Unlike the backbone, it's actually made up of the controller. So you're saying the design of the actual phone feels
So
like a controller.
the handy bits of the controller that he uses with his phone, it's similar to Project Q. It looks like there's just an Xbox controller strapped to the side of your phone, which is comfortable, very usable, very nice. I've not noticed any problems with the backbone. It's got some really nice ergonomic curvature on it. It's much more subtle because you've got this bit inside it, but it is much more comfortable than the Nintendo Switch in hand. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, and I've got tiny hands anyway. So, it's all dependent on each individual as to which ergonomics work best.
And then finally, we have, some people would say, a consumer. They want games as cheap as they can get them, but I want my games to have as much quality. So I'd rather have Sony keep doing what they're doing. And I think that's what we're saying as well. I want to see quality, as well as I want to see a good model that benefits the people making games, that are going to keep the excitement and talent invigorated to keep making games. So
if you can give me quality and quantity, I'll take it. But I would rather quality over quantity if it has to be one or the other.
I don't necessarily think so with the cloud hate. I think putting cloud on it will hurt sales more than it not have it. So, I mean, with remote play being as stable as it is, why would they need to do cloud on that? I don't know.
I think it would be good for those without a PlayStation 5. Let's not beat about the bush here. A PlayStation 5 is not a small investment. It is a £500 console here in the UK. That is half a month's wage for most people. So if they could put the cloud on there, £100 for a year for PS Plus Premium, hopefully £100 to £150 for the Project Q, that's 250 quid, and you've got a handheld gaming experience on the go. If it does cloud
gaming. That's an entry-level PS5 in your hand, basically.
It's a good way to get people into that ecosystem. And once they start to get into it, they're going to want more of it, and they can save up and so on and so forth. But it's a big jump to go from nothing, this base level where you don't have one at all, where you're not in that ecosystem at all, to 500 quid, and that's just for the hardware. There's nothing else then included with it. I mean, I'm trying to look at it from multiple different angles, from that of a consumer, from that of a corporate business, from working in big tech and what have you, and maybe don't have it there at launch, don't have it as the big selling point, like with, say, the Logitech G Cloud, but do definitely add it after launch to keep value within that product and bring more people in when initial sales die off.
Oh, wicked. We'll see when the Q releases, and we'll be here to let you know firsthand. Well, we'll see if any of us gets it.
Second, third, fourth. Depends how many people get it before us.
Secondhand, exactly. With me, we're going to be wrapping up the show here as we come to the top of the hour. I just wanted to share one little cutscene I have from the Final Fantasy demo, just to bring the hype, because it was a lot of fun. So I'm going to play it here, and yeah, let's enjoy. So just like the perfect dodge, slashing, and then with the super, I thought it was like the perfect way to just show off how fluid the combat is, how exciting and how well produced it looks. I'm just really excited for it. Doragon will be playing day one, obviously. So it's really shaping up to be a great game. If you
I
want
even
to
paid to have
experience
it
it
delivered in the
firsthand,
morning.
delivered it. You didn't get the digital version? Oh my gosh, Doragon! How do you deal with so much
I've got
stuff?
0 space on my SSD. I need to do some serious work between now and release.
Oh
Plus,
my gosh.
over here in the UK, we have consumer rights on physical copies, but not on digital copies. So if I do play it and find that it isn't actually for me, I've got 14 days to return that game and get a full refund. I still buy physical for my consumer rights here in the UK. I know it's different elsewhere in the world. I don't know what the Canadian or US sort of lean on that is. But if you play a game when bought from the PlayStation Store, that's it. It's yours. You can't return it, even if you don't like it, even if it's not for you. You don't even get that sort of 2 hours grace that you get on, say, Steam. But with a physical copy, I've got 14 full days, 2 weeks to play that game. And if I don't like it, get my money back.
Wow.
That's
Nice.
why I buy physical.
Still, it's so much stuff.
I've got a drawer. That's where the games go.
It's cool to look back and see all of them. I don't have any like physical games, right? So, but that's all we have for this week. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This show is made awesome by all the chat jumping in, sharing the PlayStation love. That's what we're about here on Super PlayStation Bros. So until the next time, we'll see you next Monday. Look out for the socials and Doragon 86, Rudiggz, all that good stuff.
Later,
Any final words? Later, y'all.
Do I even need to? I die with the season leaves. I glide with the season breeze. True, my mind so easily spooked. I ride just to be the me.